Hey, well, today I'm angry at the CDC. And it's true that I've been angry at the CDC many times this year so far for medical related reasons. Like, for example, their abrupt about face on the issue of masks. But we're not talking about the CDC and their medical malpractice this year. We're talking about the CDC and, if you haven't heard, the directive that they are going to have published in the Federal Register tomorrow, September the 4th, 2020. Now, what on earth do you think the CDC could have published to get me so agitated? Well, the CDC is declaring an eviction moratorium for tenants. In other words, if you're a landlord, you will not be able to evict your tenant through the end of the year, even if they don't pay rent. And the CDC spokesman had the gall to stand there and say that this was not an invitation not to pay rent. Oh, really? How so? In any case, the CDC has now decided that they are going to interfere in the relationship between landlord and tenant, and they're claiming this is all in the name of COVID-19, that if people are evicted, there's a chance they're going to be in homeless shelters. All of these things are going to contribute to the spread of COVID-19, and therefore landlords are not able to evict tenants. Now, what is a landlord supposed to do? I don't know if you're aware of what happens if you abandon a property for a year and don't perform any maintenance whatsoever on it. You will come back to a shambles in only 1 year. And that doesn't even count your fees for property taxes, insurance, and other expenses that don't really contribute to the upkeep and maintenance of the property itself. It's very expensive to own property. These landlords, even if they own the property free and clear, there's no way they're going to be able to hold on to these properties indefinitely without rent. And now that the CDC, of all people, has decided to get involved and stop evictions, landlords are going to continue to eat these expenses and are looking now at not even being able to replace these tenants with paying tenants. My God, the CDC, the Center for Disease Control, is now interfering between a landlord and his tenant or her tenant. Government overreach is a steady drip. I mean, you grow used to the efforts of government to intrude ever further into our lives. And you do expect the IRS to be intrusive with regards to taxes. And you do expect the CDC to be intrusive with regards to health measures. But you certainly don't expect the CDC to get involved in contracts between landlords and tenants. The CDC has unilaterally declared that all tenants shall not be evicted through the end of December. And it's going to be extended. There's no way they're going to be allowing evictions to take place around Christmas and New Year's. It's going to be extended. It's going to be phased out. It's going to be grandfathered. You know how these things go. It's going to exist in some form or another indefinitely. What's the landlord supposed to do? I mean, when you're a landlord, you understand that you have expenses that you have to pay, and you expect your tenants to contribute some amount towards them so that the building can stay in good shape. I mean, this is like New York in the 70s when landlords used to firebomb their buildings because they couldn't charge the tenants the rent that it required to maintain the building. I mean, are we at a point where it's going to be landlords so desperate to get rid of their properties that they're going to be destroying them for insurance? At some point, the landlord's just going to lose these properties. You can't keep a property indefinitely that's costing you money every year. I mean, are we going to get to the point that you have to pay someone to take it off your hands? Who is the CDC to be involved? I mean, this is a matter for the courts. This is a matter between the landlord and the tenants. The landlord and the tenant have a contract. It's a commercial, it's an arm's length transaction. Nobody has the right to step in between the two of them and tell them that the terms that they've agreed to are no longer valid. And my God, this is no solution. The CDC plan just tacks the missing rent onto the end. There's no way that somebody who can't pay rent through the end of the year is suddenly going to be able to pay 4 months worth of rent in January. It's a plan destined to fail. It isn't even a plan. My God, look at it. The CDC dictating relationship between tenant and landlord? My God, is there any point at which we'll draw the line? Please, let's wake up.